All right, a couple things. If when you guys notice my table of contents, if I have something like this where it's showing up that title, what I first need to do is I need to look and see, do I have this as normal text or do I have this as anything else? In this case, I have it as heading 1. Even if I had it as title and I updated, now it's no longer there. But as soon as I have it as any of the headings, it's still there, okay? So if you don't want that to be a part of your table of your contents, you don't want it to be a heading. So title or normal text is what you want to play around with, okay? I can update. All right, so second thing. Once you feel that your ideas page, that you have a lot of stuff in the area, you believe you're ready to start using it. So you have your main character, you kind of have your idea of your story, you bounced around enough ideas that you think you have all the components and elements in your story that you want to start using for your 30-second story. Then what we need to do is we need to start thinking in terms of the 3-act. Now, from the video, he kind of really glossed over what each piece is for the 3-act, the beginning, the middle, and the end. So what we want to look at, and I'm going to give you guys this. This is based on writing a novel, but it has really got a structure for what we're looking for a 3-act. Okay? So there's a lot of pieces that are happening in your Act 1, your Act 2, and your Act 3. It's still the introduction, your confrontation, your resolution, okay? But there's pieces that happen in between each one. So here, we can see like they broke it up into blocks. Like block 1 is introducing the hero into the ordinary world, which would be our beginning, inciting the incident, and then the immediate reaction. Okay, and inside of that we have our setup, we have our conflict, and then we have our resolution. So it's kind of like almost like a smaller story within the story. Okay, really all we're trying to do is see the hero, the protagonist, in his normal state before any of the other stuff happens. Okay, so they're using Hunger Games as an example. I would go ahead and continue looking through it. Block 2, we introduce the problem. Okay, we're still in Act 1. So they have it broken down into a few more chapters where now he's reacting to that problem. That's the setup. He's going to take some type of action. That's the conflict. And then the consequence of the action. So if we looked at Hunger Games, we had Katniss Everdeen. She was in the normal state where, she was just in her town. Looked like she had a crush on that guy. But then what ends up happening is that her sister, Primrose, gets picked to play in the Hunger Games. And so her reaction was shock and terror. She reacted to it by volunteering as tribute, and then she has to deal with those consequences. Okay, so that's the problem that disrupts her normal state. Okay, and then block 3, we're still in Act 1. I'm just kind of walking through the Act 1, and you guys are going to want to kind of do this. So this is a really good article to do this, but block 3, this would be our last one for our first act. They have it broken down in another 3 chapters. Still, it's a setup, conflict, and resolution. Okay, pressures being applied onto the hero, pinch, okay, and then push. So what is the player doing with that situation, and then how are they trying to resolve it or to figure it out? Okay, so what we want to look at then as that whole, so we have an idea. These are the different sections that we can define for our story. So we have all of our ideas page. What we need to do is we need to go to the very end of our ideas page. We're going to insert another page break. Bam. And then we are going to write out 3-act, and then this is going to be another thing on our table of contents. So we need to change this to heading 1. Okay. Now each piece in there, though, there's multiple sections within that. So we have our beginning, just like what we were talking about. We have our inciting incident. We have our basically setting the stage. So our block 1 that they have in here, the reaction, that shock. Okay, so then we want to put that in there. Initial reaction. That's not right, is it? Immediate reaction. Okay. All right, so what we're doing is we are going to start pulling our stuff from our ideas page and trying to put it in order of how we think that our story should go. Okay, some of these you may end up having where the beginning and the inciting incident is almost the exact same thing. You could pair them up, okay, or at least consider that. You may end up having, as you start breaking this up, that maybe all you have is this immediate reaction and you don't actually have a beginning to your story. You may want to consider that you may need to add some stuff. However, you want to be careful at the same time because you guys are limited to only 30 seconds. Okay? So your 3-act is where you are going, on this page, is where you're going to start organizing your ideas page into your order for your story. Okay? From that, we're going to end up transitioning to building in the script. All right. Good luck.